Well, welcome. Like I mentioned, I'm thrilled that you're here. Are you the person, by any chance, who takes all the photos, turning them into photo albums and gifts? Or are you interested in family history and you love sharing old family photos? Are you interested in starting a business that helps people curate, save, and share their photos and stories because the world needs you? So I am going to share my screen here. How to Start a Business Helping Families Manage Their Growing Collections is the title and of what we're talking about today. So hang on, let me get myself set. My name is Kathy Nelson, and I am the CEO and founder of the Photo Managers. We are a global educational association that I started in 2009. Over the past 14 years, we have experienced tremendous growth, and the need is only increasing. We offer free weekly classes, an annual conference, professional certification, and a very supportive, engaged community for this growing career. I'm also the author of 2 books, Photo Organizing Made Easy, Going from Overwhelmed to Overjoyed, and a business roadmap for professional photo organizers, Everything You Need to Grow and Start a Thriving Photo Organizing Business, which I co-wrote with a professional photo manager, Jill Yesko, who actually wears many hats and does residential organizing, senior move management, and all sorts of other things. So today's agenda is I want to share 3 things with you. The top 10 reasons people hire a professional photo manager, what it takes to be successful, and why joining the Photo Managers is a worthwhile investment. And then there's going to be plenty of time for Q&A. So during the process, if you have a question, go ahead and drop it in the chat. Isabel does a great job. We'll take plenty of time. No question is too strange to ask. We've probably been asked all of them before. And if you don't have any, I'll answer some that I know you have that you just didn't have the courage to put in the chat. So basically, I want to start with the why, right? We live in an increasingly complex technical world. Aren't you all tired by all the emails and things that we get, right? But yet as human beings, we have not changed in our need to tell a story. It's through stories that we connect. And one of the ways we tell our stories is through our photos, videos, and memorabilia. Yet most people admit to feeling completely overwhelmed by their growing photo collections. They just don't have the time to sort through and organize the thousands upon thousands of photos they are accumulating, let alone print them. The result is a consumer who is overwhelmed and mostly paralyzed. In addition to digital photos, hundreds of thousands of printed photos languish in shoeboxes and in bins and old fading photo albums. Videos of birthday parties, babies' first steps, and weddings are trapped in outdated media formats. Because who has a camcorder or a VCR anymore, right? And then also, unfortunately today, every day, the photos and videos people cherish are at risk of being lost to all sorts of different reasons, increasing weather extremes and technology mishaps. In the last few months, families lost everything in fires that we know about in Maui, right? In Washington State, British Columbia, and then there have been hurricanes in California and tornadoes on the East Coast. I mean, it's just, it never ends, right? These weather extremes. The goal isn't to create fear about that, but the need is real, and people are realizing that they need to act now before it's too late. And something else I'll add to this slide, which I didn't, but it's privacy is becoming another increasing area of concern for people as we start to realize that we have little privacy and we need to there's steps we need to take. And our photos and the sharing of photos on social media and stuff is really something that people need to be better educated about and should be concerned with as well. So because of that, a solution has emerged, and photo organizers or photo managers are the people that step in to fill that need. There are now hundreds of professional photo organizers all around the world offering a variety of solutions. If you're wondering why and who hires a photo manager, here are the most common reasons, and I'll take you through the client demographics. That photograph is fun. That is at our conference last year in Orlando. So it is a group of real people who took the time to wave and as part of our group photo that we do every year at our conference. Now, before we go any further, though, I want to stop for a minute. We showed this video. I was at a conference called the Senior Move Managers, and one of our members, Laura Woolsey of Memory Forward, shared this video of her client. After they had scanned all his photos, they surprised him with a photo book. And if nothing else helps you understand the joy people feel when their photos are presented back to them in an organized way, this video will help you understand the why we do what we do.
Album. You guys are the best. You did not need to do this. Oh my God.
Those same pictures that you were just looking at.
That's so incredible. Now I got to get you to do a bunch of these for me. This is incredible.
It's comes out pretty nicely.
It comes out unbelievably.
Yeah,
But we very much appreciate your help.
we do.
Okay, so let me go back and share my screen. So isn't that great? I love that that video when I saw it, because I thought, a lot of times we try to help people understand the process of what it feels like after we do it. And, people buy on emotion, not on logic. So when you say to somebody, I'm going to help organize your photos and turning it into a keepsake photo book, those words are great, but that video tells you everything you need to know about what it feels like when you've actually had that experience. And that's what we do. So I want you to keep that in mind as we talk through, because I'm giving you a bunch of words and reasons, but again, the emotional experience that clients feel after once you take them through this process is literally that kind of delight. So here are our 10 reasons. There's many more reasons than 10.
Can you share your screen again, please?
Oh, I'm not sharing it? Okay.
No,
sorry.
you're not.
Huh. What did I do? Share screen. Is it? Oops. Now are you seeing it?
Yes, we see it.
Okay, sorry about that. Okay. So here are the reasons. Number one, digital photo overload. With the advent of our smartphones and digital cameras, people take more photos than ever before, right? Not just photos, but also videos. Managing and organizing those digital images can quickly become overwhelming. The client that hires somebody for this is usually a working professional mom who's busy, who cares deeply about photos, but just doesn't have time. A photo organizer will create a plan with her, or that, not just women, but create a plan, including gathering all their photos into what we call a digital photo hub, one place, right? You got to go on a hunt and gather. You got photos in Amazon photos. You got them in Dropbox. You got them on memory cards. You have them in a million different places, right? And then removing the duplicates and creating an easy to locate shareable collection using different software based on the client's skill level. Now, you may not know how to do any of this yet, but we have a lot of training, and there are a lot of amazing software programs out there to help do this that the consumer just is not accessing nor has interest in accessing that. And so that's where you can step in. Another key reason is preservation, right? Many families have old analog photos, slides, and negatives deteriorating. Professional photo organizers can help digitize, which means scanning those, and preserving those valuable memories for future generations. The clients who hire this audience are usually in the ages from anywhere from 55 to 90. They may be ready to downsize, and they're wondering who cares about those family photos. A photo organizer meets with the client to create a plan that, again, like I mentioned, often includes scanning, or also converting those old family home movies into a viewable format. Again, as part of the photo managers, we'll talk more about this, we have the resources and help to help you understand how to do that. So you could tell in that photo book that man was looking at, those were old photos that he was seeing in a photo book, right? They had been scanned and then turned back to him in a photo book experience. Memorabilia is another big part of the positions that people, most people have photos. With their photos, they're going to have related items such as letters, gift certificates, keepsake items. Organizers can help curate and preserve these items in a meaningful way. Even something as scanning, doing 3D scanning, or scanning a tea set, or different things that people don't want to know how to give up, but if they have the story in the photo, they can maybe be willing to give that up. This client is often in their 40s and 50s. A parent may have recently passed away, or their kids are leaving home, and they want to ensure they don't lose access to the items that they care about. Another major reason people hire a professional photo manager is special occasion. Events like weddings, reunions, milestone birthdays, people often take a large number of photos. Professional photo organizers can help create organized, curated collections from these events. This client includes people of all ages. As a photo organizer, it will often create a keepsake photo book or video montage. This is also travel. People that spend not everybody, but most people love to travel, and many times people will save and they'll finally go on that trip of a lifetime, right? They go to maybe on a safari, or they go to they go hiking in Peru. I did that. I hiked the Inca Trail. These are experiences, or go on major cruises that they save up for. And then they need, they take all those photos. Somebody can take those photos and turn them into a really beautiful keepsake photo album. So I want to stress that you don't have to offer all the services that I'm talking about. Many professionals start out offering, a lot of these services to start, but as their business grows, they really start to focus on what they enjoy. And then we really recommend that we say, like, you do what you love and you outsource the rest. People hire a photo organizer because they have time constraints, right? People are just busy with their professional and personal lives with little time to sort through and organize their photos. This client includes single and working professionals and people who invest their money, like I mentioned, into travel, pets, and hobbies. Pets is another really interesting area. People, we spend a lot of money on our pets. I do. I have 3, 2 dogs and a cat. And they're part of our family. And when people lose pets, there's a lot of sadness around that. And so some people have focused on just working with clients and their pets. I mean, there's so many different avenues that people have chosen to follow it. Technology challenges, right? Keeping up with changing technology, software, and storage solutions for digital photos can be daunting. Professional organizers offer expertise in this area. This client just needs help with technology, and they will pay for coaching and one-on-one assistance. We're seeing this really increase, and we're working closely with one of our partners, a company called Mylia, which maybe if you're part of our email list, you've been hearing about. It's an amazing software company. Have created a very robust program that can do a lot of amazing things in terms of organizing your photos. But they are working closely with us because a lot of their customers they need more of that assistance. They need a little bit more hand-holding. And they say, we're a software company. That's not what we do. And so a lot of our members are gaining clients from that, and they're passing leads along and things. So there's a lot more. We're developing more and more relationships with these software companies who are looking to us to provide that support to their clientele in exchange. Obviously, you get paid for that. The emotional value. Photos carry deep emotional significance for individuals and families. Professional photo organizers can help create organized systems that preserve the emotional connection tied to those images. Those are those old photos of, grandparents, and it's really the stories, right? That's what we really want. Personal projects. Some individuals may not want to create albums, scrapbooks, or multimedia presentations for their photos. Sometimes they do want to do that, right? They want something even more. So professional organizers can assist with these creative endeavors. We have members who offer, legacy video storytelling for clients. So again, there's all sorts of different things that people want. Maybe they'll hire somebody just for a one-off project or thing. Downsizing and moves. When people downsize their homes or move, they often face challenges in deciding what to keep and how to organize their photos and memorabilia. I mentioned I just came from the National Association of Senior Move Managers Conference, where over 400 professionals gathered in Kansas City for 3 days to talk about how they help their clients downsize. They had amazing classes on everything from listening skills to, working with a lot of times they work with the senior independent living centers, kind of refer them. And we talked to those movers and those move companies about what about all those photos? And they all said, absolutely, every person has those photos. We don't deal with that. They're motivated in packing everything up and getting the client moved. And so that's another amazing opportunity for our photo managers to step in and help with those collections. And then number 10, and again, I mentioned there could be a lot more than 10, legacy planning. People want to ensure that their visual legacies are well organized and can be passed down to future generations. Professional photo organizers exist in creating those plans for long-term photo management. You provide a valuable service by helping individuals and family tackle these challenges and create organized, meaningful, and accessible collections of visual memories. So don't just take my word for it. Also, I think you're going to put that in the chat, right, Isabel? We did a webinar recently where we interviewed 4 photo managers and their clients. This is a little bit longer than that short video I showed you, but I think definitely when you have a chance, click on that and bookmark it. But you'll want to watch that because, again, this was just 4 photo managers asked for their clients to talk about what the process was like. And so nothing can describe this better for you if you're thinking about this than hearing from actual clients and photo managers. So here is the, and this is on YouTube, and there is the QR code as well if you want to go ahead and snap that and watch that when you have more time. We'll also link this at the end of this presentation. So what's interesting is over the years, I've helped thousands of people start in my team and the photo managers as a whole have really watched many people start successful businesses that really have grown and thrived. And some people don't stick with it. They quit or they get discouraged or things don't work out, because there is no such thing as a get rich quick scheme in the world, unfortunately. But I've learned over the years, like I've thought a lot about this. What are the characteristics that makes somebody successful? And, again, success is really what you determine it to be. So it's within you what makes you feel successful. But these are things that I know, characteristics that that make a difference in people's in their ability to be successful. Because starting your own business really does take a lot of tenacity, courage, and commitment. So the first thing I realized is that you have to be curious about people, history, and ideas, because you're going to meet a lot of people and they're going to be talking to you about their family history, about their photos, about their and so if you find yourself enjoying those kind of conversations and that piece of it, then you'll love doing this because you will get to hear a lot of people's stories. Again, then also that passion about photos and stories, an understanding of, like I mentioned, that emotional connection to why this matters. If you find this, watching that man, be so excited about his photos, if that made you smile and made you just think, wow, that was so cool, then you understand the value of this. It's also really important, though, that you be a lifelong learner, because technology does keep changing. Now, we do a lot of training on technology, and you can get as technical as you want on this. Some of our members do not like technology, and they only want to work with clients' printed analog photos, and that's all they do, so they're not stepping into the technology piece. But it is important to be willing to, if you're a person who sees yourself as somebody who doesn't say, oh, I don't want to learn, all the new features on my iPhone. I hate that. I don't want to even, I can't believe they keep upgrading my iPhone on me. And you get annoyed by all that. You might find this business a little frustrating because there is a lot of technology that's being used. And you don't have to be open, again, you don't have to be tech savvy right away, but again, that willingness to learn and knowing that there's a learning curve and a willingness to kind of take that time is really important. So if you said yes to those personality traits, then you would be a great fit. So now let's talk about the photo managers, who we are and why what we do has been integral to the growing success of this organization, of this profession. As I mentioned, we're a global organization. So we have members throughout the world, growing. Like I just mentioned, in the last week, we had a new member. I think it's our second member from Malaysia, our second member from Poland. New Zealand might be our second member even in New Zealand. We do have a growing group in Australia. Somebody just joined. We have members in the Netherlands and the UK, all over the world, but mostly US and Canada. So our purpose is to serve professional photo organizers through our training and through professional certification, partnerships, and our conference. We currently have over 700 professionals who share the same passion, a desire to help people and businesses curate their collections so they can share their stories. So to become a member of the photo managers, you pay an annual membership fee, which can be paid either quarterly, it's $175 a quarter, or save $100 and pay annually for the year, $599, and gives you access to everything that we provide. Now, you might be asking yourself, and I would, is why would you pay the photo managers? What is your ROI or value to you? I always tell people that's what keeps me up every night, is like making sure that, I'm providing such great value that you never want to quit, unless I always say you're welcome to quit if you decide this isn't the business for you. But if otherwise, we really want you to stay a member. And we have many members who've been members for years. So first of all, we technically call it, we give you a business in a box. Now, we're not going to send you a box because nothing is in a box these days anymore. But we've all walked the walk, and we come alongside you to ensure a quicker route to success. In the box, kind of what we provide are, number one is a community. Our overall philosophy, like I mentioned, is a rising tide lifts all boats, and we're collaborative, not competitive. We build community through a number of ways. Once you join, you'll be introduced to a regional leader, and we have regional Zoom meetings mostly these days. Some people do meet in person now, but you'll be connected. And because there's not that many photo managers in a lot of places, there's not enough people to meet in person, but so you'll be in a region. We have a private members only Facebook group, which is really like a 24-hour support hotline where people ask questions all day long and get amazing answers. We do monthly networking meetings, and we have a mentoring program in place. We also include education. That's one of our core values. And that includes monthly training webinars. We have one as soon as this is over today on using Canva. We did one on using Canva to create photo books, and I think today's is using Canva in a different way. I think around social media, maybe, where we bring in subject matter experts on all sorts of topics. They're all recorded and added to our training vault. So you can go back and look at old training, and you can be, be involved in all the current training that's happening. Certification is something I'm really proud of. It's really important. We established that early on in the course, increases your knowledge and understanding of the of what we call photo organizing best practices and industry standards. Things like what levels of DPI should you be scanning photos? What do you do if you get a professional photographer's photos? What are copyright standards? Also, what are the best practices in dealing with clients? What about confidentiality issues? What about terms of agreements? How often, when do you invoice your client? What's their payment process like? We take you through all of that. So the certification is not how to of photo organizing. It's really about industry standards and best practices. And that's a course that it doesn't take long to go through. But then what does take time is we expect you to document a client project from start to finish. And throughout that process, we're prompting you to document what you did. And then you upload that to this. The reason we have you do that is we know that the more touch points you have with your client, the better satisfied your client will probably be, right? So we're going to prompt you through the process to do the things that we know will make you successful. Once that's done, and it needs to be a paying client, we don't want it to be like your sister or your mother. We will check your references. We will actually call, and then you'll have an interview with me. And at that point, you are considered certified. You get a badge, and you're listed on our website so people can find you. People often ask me, how long does it take? And it depends on how long it takes you to get that first client and have that confidence. We don't check in with you. We don't require certification. And so it is a process that you go through on your own, but we do give you a big shout out, and it's an exciting moment when people do get certified. And then the last thing is in our box is partnerships. You get significant discounts from our partners, such as Archival Methods, which is a great archiving company, gives you anywhere from, I think, 35 to even up to 50% wholesale pricing on their products. Our Nixplay digital photo frames, you get 20%. Mylio, which is the company I was just mentioning, has a deal with our members where they get your first 3 months of Mylio Plus for free. And then you can also, there's lots of different ways. So we work with a lot of different companies to do all sorts of things where you get discounts. And so Isabel may be able to put our photo organizing, our partners and stuff in the chat there for you to take a look at, but that's another big part of our benefits of membership. So last of all, before I take your questions, is if you're ready, if you join in the month of November, we will send you 2 recent trainings from our recent virtual conference. We do this every year. It's called Profitability Live, where we talk all about making money, pricing, all the big questions that have. It's not free. The people do pay for it. But there were 2 great courses that were just run. One was called Standardizing a Photo Organizing Project of Any Size, and then Transforming a Lifetime of Photos into a Series of Photo Books. We will give you access to those for free if you join in the month by the end of November. You may not want to watch those right away. Those are things that you'll have in your Photo Organizing Academy, and you might watch them when you're really ready, but they're great. And I learned a lot, and our members, those of us that went through that training, learned a significant amount. Another great way to learn more about the career is to go to our YouTube videos. Every month, I interview a photo organizer called A Career Advice from a Pro. And I always ask them the same 5 questions. What did you do before you were a photo manager? Because it's fascinating, the backgrounds that people come from. What is it? How do you find your clients? What is it that you like most about your business? What don't you like? And what value have you found being a member of the Photo Manager? So we have a really great variety of interviews with all sorts of people from different parts of the world answering those questions. And you'll see how diverse the organization is when you see the answers to the people that we've interviewed. And you can also set up a 15-minute call with me if you want to just ask me more questions personally. And also, we have a great video of our members talking about why they love being a member of the Photo Manager. So you're welcome to, again, using your QR code, using your phone, you can definitely check those out. So at this point, why don't I see what kind of questions have been coming in, and I'm going to stop sharing my screen. Let's see over here, and I will turn my video back on. And I'd love to see if we've got questions that have come in, or people been shy yet at this point, or maybe you're just starting to think about the questions right now that I've shared all that information with you.
We have one question so far. And sorry, everyone, I have a cold. Would it be possible to shadow a pro in our area before deciding to become a photo manager?
That's really a decision that the pro in the area would have to decide if they're comfortable with that. We don't really, it's hard for us to mandate that, or most of our members I think a phone call usually is really good. I'm not so sure how comfortable they might feel with somebody shadowing them, but again, you could definitely check in with us, send us a note, and we could try and make a reference, referral to somebody that might be to see where you live and who's located in your area. A lot of times too, a lot of this work, they take the project away from the client back to their home. Most people have home offices, more and more are renting space, but and so maybe it's more observing them going through the process than actually shadowing them.
I don't have any other questions currently, but some common, the next one is, how important is it to be skilled with Windows and Apple computers? Can you specialize in just one system?
Yeah, a lot of people do most people aren't proficient in one or the other. They tend to come in either like a Windows operating person or an Apple. Usually though, in time, you will get comfortable with both if you're working in the digital realm. And we have, because they really aren't that different when you're working with a folder, in a folder structure with photos, but it's fine to be just doing one. We have a lot of training, especially on the Apple ecosystem. We have, a couple members, Paul Aronson, who's everybody's guru. He was a Apple Genius, worked in the Apple Genius bar, and has answers everybody's questions all the time, and actually has created a whole specialized course. We will have 25% off all our courses starting next Monday for Black Friday. So if you want to deep dive on how to use Apple Photos with clients, then his course is a wonderful course. So then you do 25% off.
Does training help with advertising strategy and methods for connecting with and getting clients?
Yeah, absolutely. Because what we've learned too is, and I didn't get into all the things the other big piece of what we call our core curriculum is starting a business. If you've never had a business, we have a whole course where we walk you through, how do you name your business? How do you set up a website? How do you find clients? How do you, start with pricing and things like that? So, I will tell you though, honestly, grassroots, I believe in grassroots marketing as a way you're becoming the expert known in your community. That means being out, going to networking meetings. If you have, my son is doing this now a year and a half in our community, and I work out at a little gym, and they had a fair, like an arts fair a couple of Fridays ago. And I said, Joshua, we need to just show up there with a bunch of old home movies and videos and some slides. He's gotten like 7 clients just from showing up at that little fair like that. It didn't cost much. It's really because you're interacting with the client who's turning over those photos to you. But we do a lot of training and marketing strategy on that. But that's just, it can be that simple.
And in addition to the training that we offer, we do have other sort of less formal networking times where a lot of the time members will talk about getting clients, charging, and things like that. Does the $5.99 include training on different types of services, for example, analog, digital, movie, and other?
So our core curriculum training includes printed photo organizing, which is a whole series, because the way you would organize your printed photos is going to be really different than the way that you would organize a client's printed photos, right? You want a system in place. Then we have digital photo organizing, and that's really understanding file size, different file types, all that's included. We have a scanning course that's not here yet. It's on its way. We had developed, so the different types of scanners, different ways to use them. We do have recommendations on different kinds of scanners. And we are working on the home movie piece of that as well. That probably won't be ready until the spring, but we do have a lot of members who do these things, and then also webinars that we've done with training and things.
Yeah, we have the scanning course is scheduled to launch next month. And so that'll be included as soon as that's available, it will be automatically added to your account. And then the movie transfer and media conversion course, like Kathy said, we're looking at early spring.
And part of that is we're bringing in experts to do that teaching, and especially the home movie, because we're surprised. I've been surprised more and more of our members have brought that home movie conversion in-house instead of outsourcing it to one of our partners or things like that. So we realize there's no standard in the industry. There's no standardization. So we're working with real experts about best practices, again, standardizing that so that if you offer that, you make sure that your knowledge and skill set is in line with what would be the best for the client.
And can you confirm, Kathy, that the courses that there are some courses that are included in membership and some that are separate purchases, and why
there are a
do
few
that?
that are separate purpose. You can join and never purchase another course, but if you want to do a really deep dive into some like camera scanning, there is an additional fee for some of those because we are compensating the professional photo managers who created that training. And so there are a couple of handful of Lightroom, like a deeper dive into Lightroom. A lot of this is out there on YouTube and different places, but if you want, we do have a handful of additional fees. We try to set it up so that you're not, going to have a lot of additional fees, but in time, you're going to be reinvesting in your own learning, and you have the revenue to justify the cost of the courses.
So yeah, and with membership, the goal is to provide you with sort of the core training that you need to get started. And then, as Kathy said, as you expand, as you add new services, or even as you specialize within certain areas, there will be new skills that you'll want to learn, and that's what the other courses are for.
I'm surprised nobody's asked, how do you know how much to charge? I'll answer that because that usually is a question that people ask too. We recommend so that you should be thinking of yourself as charging. You need to know what the average hourly service fee rate is in your area of the world. It's going to vary based on where you live geographically and things like that, or if you're in a bigger city or a more rural area. But you definitely want to set your prices as a professional. So what is a professional bookkeeper? What's your massage therapist, physical therapist, speech pathologist, therapist? Anybody who offers a service, a residential organizer, what is their hourly fee? It's going to range anywhere from a low of probably $55, $60 in a more rural area to as high as, $175, $200 in, LA or maybe New York City or things like that. And so that's where you're going to that's where you want to see yourself as setting your rate, because your cost of doing business isn't just, so say if it's $100 an hour, that $100 has to include your part of your cost of reimbursing yourself for training, part of your your driving time, the time it takes you to write up the invoice, the time it's not just always built into that into the time of doing the work, right? So I know if you're coming from an employee background where you got a paycheck, it's a new way of thinking and understanding why pricing is done the way that it is. And then from there, a lot of times people do what they call 10-hour packages or 20-hour packages. So a lot of times but that's just to give you a general idea of where your pricing you'd want to be thinking about setting your pricing.
Will we be able to access and see the slide presentation after this meeting?
Yeah, it's been recorded and it'll be, I think, sometimes we send an email with the recording,
Yeah,
but it's
we'll
always
send you an email with the recording. We also do upload it to our YouTube channel. So I just put the YouTube channel in the chat. So if you subscribe to that, you should also receive a notification when the video is uploaded. And there's a little bit of a delay because we send it for editing, but usually we'll have it up within the next, this one will probably be ready by Saturday at the latest.
And then just some final thoughts, like I said, this is a growing market. We're really excited about a couple things that we've added that are even here. Is a privacy. We have something called a privacy advocate, where one of our partners worked for we were shocked to know that she worked for the CIA for many years and was also a cybersecurity expert. She created a course for us that's $99 or maybe $125, but it's a 5-hour course. It's a deep dive into understanding privacy. And now our members are actually able to promote themselves as privacy advocates to their clients, all about managing passwords, security, really a deep dive in understanding that. And so we realized we're moving more and more into specialization. So we're also working on what we call a legacy advocate, because there's a growing interest and need in this whole world of legacies, about this idea of creating a living legacy before you pass away. Why do we wait till people pass away before they create those amazing video montages and those wonderful stories that usually get told? And so we're working with experts on helping people who are dealing with loss, Alzheimer's, chronic illnesses and things like that, and putting together an entire training program that would educate our members who want to offer those as additional services. So there's just a lot that's been happening in this field, and it keeps growing and changing. And I think different people will find their place in those different things.
And we have a great question from Liz, and you're not alone on this. I know that a lot of people experience this. So she's purchased an Epson fast photo and has had streaks. So she put it aside to started using a flatbed, but it is finding that it's a lot slower. Camera scanning just sounds expensive to set up. Do you have any advice?
Yeah, you know what? Let me just pull up because right, that's the problem with that. We try to tell people that problem with I'm sorry, I'm trying to search my emails while I'm talking to you at the same time, because somebody just sent me I'll look at a minute here. The scanner that they're using instead of that fast photo. But yeah, the fast photo, it wasn't built to be like a scanner, like a workhorse scanner for people who are scanning more than just their own family photos, unfortunately. And that streaking can really be trouble. Some people have had no streaking with it and they love it. It's like this love-hate relationship. It's really hard to, not everybody says it does that. So camera scanning can be expensive, and there's a learning curve. So if you don't have the business to justify that expense, then I would not get into that. And I'll keep looking, but it's a Fujitsu something or other, and my phone just died. So let me just give me another minute and I can try and see if I can track back that email from him.
I can also include it with the recording, and
all right, let's do that so we don't hold people up. But I was funny, we were at that conference and he was saying they've started using that. They've been using that for 1.5 years with no trouble. It's $4.99 on Amazon, and I forget which the title is. It looks more like a document scanner, but it does do photos really well. These are what we call feeder scanners. So you will always need a flatbed if you have large size objects. We recommend the Epson V600, which is $299. So here somebody says, I love my fast photo. I would contact their help desk, right? They might, the V850 Pro flatbed is an excellent. That's a great scanner. Yes, that's even a step up from what we even recommend people tend to start. It can be a little tedious when you're scanning on a flatbed to start, but that's okay. I mean, it's part of the process and the learning process, and you're charging a good fee for that. So those scanners all would work great.
And how important is it to know Photoshop? Mary Beth's asking if she's digitizing analog photos, do most clients expect the photo manager to touch up and improve the quality of the pictures?
That can be an additional fee that you charge, but usually the software that you're scanning it into has a good, should have a good, kind of just initial where they lighten the photos and things like that. And then I know my son, again, I mentioned him, but he outsources, especially the slides, to somebody else that just logs in and does it at an inexpensive rate overseas for him, because he doesn't have the time and he doesn't want to charge that full rate. So no, I don't think you have to have a understanding of Photoshop and things. I started this business. I did not use Photoshop.
Yeah, we have several members that enjoy the process of editing photos, and that's definitely, you can either outsource to partners within our community, or as Kathy mentioned, there's also resources elsewhere that you can hire as part of your team. You definitely don't need
that outsourcing we talk about. A lot of our members, in fact, I have a meeting tomorrow with one of our a younger member. She has a very successful remote digital photo organizing business, just brought on 3 team members, and says she's got team members with time that could do the digital photo organizing. It's not uncommon for a member to say, okay, great, I'll outsource. You're a project manager. right? So you're not going to do all of these things. So if you don't like that piece of it, you can always outsource that. Again, your client is trusting you to be the expert and to bring, so just like when you're redoing your house, right? When I paid my general contractor, I just trusted he knew the right electrician, he knew the right plumber. I didn't want to get involved in all of that. So that's kind of the way that you want to think about that project management.
And would you recommend a desktop or a laptop when starting out, or just use what they have at the moment?
You can use just what you have at the moment, but you'll be using an external hard drive. So if you get a good solid state external hard drive, you don't want your, the client's photos and things, you want them to be on, not on your computer, but on its own external hard drive. And then as time goes on, you probably will upgrade to a desktop with a faster processing.
Can you talk a little bit about Adobe Lightroom Classic and how that's involved in the work of photo managers?
I am not the person to, we do a lot of members that use Adobe Lightroom Classic, and we have training on it and things, but I'm not that. And they use it for adding metadata and organizing clients' photos quickly, because it's a really good tool for that. So, and you would use it differently if you're a professional photographer. We have professional photographers who've taught these mini classes on how to use Adobe Lightroom more as a professional photo organizer, because you're going to be using it a little bit differently.
I'm going to post a link in the chat for our Lightroom course, which will be 25% off next week for our...
Hey Liz, I hear your, I can't show it, but if I could, I bought a new Mac. So I'm using a new MacBook Pro, and I'm, my MacBook Pro's there. I'm using a monitor, and I have my little handy, I have everything all plugged into my port, right, because it doesn't have the ports that that I needed. So, but it works great with the, as long as I bring my little thing with all the different ports around. Another way they get our money. I see Virginia
has a really
though.
good question. Yeah,
Yeah.
this may sound odd to those of you who have been doing this for a while, but I worry about taking responsibility for someone's irreplaceable family albums and taking them off site. I suppose you get past that with time. Does anyone do on-site scanning or capture for customers and organize off-site?
Yes, I think they do. So you'll get more comfortable with that. There is a whole process that we teach about how you do this again in best practices. The first thing is you're going to document everything you take. You're going to photograph every item that you take from the client's home with, and we provide, the spreadsheets kind of get you started, and you can create your own. But and then you want the client to agree that you've taken these items from the home. You want to make sure that you have, and that's part of our training too, a safe place where those are stored. There always is going to be somewhat of that risk. You can't get insurance. Photos are considered kind of priceless. They don't give a value. You can get business insurance to replace a tech kind of a value of it. But at this point in all these years, none of our members have ever lost a client's photo collection. I think they're more scared than the client themselves are. We've even had members when in like California during the fires, and I remember also members down in New Orleans putting all their clients' photos in their cars and taking pictures and sending it to their clients, saying, "I'm on my way out of town with your photos and stuff." So that is something that can happen. But again, you want to, and then people do on-site scanning, absolutely, and bring it off-site. And some people do everything on-site, where they organize with the client at the client's home, and the client doesn't want it to leave their home. We have one member, and he has a mobile van, and he has his scanning equipment, everything set up in his van, and he just does it in their driveway. So. All right, hopefully I think we've had quite a few great questions.
And I was also going to say that, I mean, at the end of the day, as a photo manager, you are a business, and you'll want to make sure that you have, the proper insurance to protect yourself and your business. Unfortunately, there is no easy insurance that protects photos or videos, because they are, as many of us know, fairly irreplaceable. And so that's tough when it comes to insurance. You might run into some issues with people not or insurance agents not fully understanding what photo managers do and the importance of it. But we do have a training webinar on some basic insurance types that we do recommend all photo managers have. And one of those is general liability. Because again, you are a business, you are handling irreplaceable items. And in addition to the insurances, you also want to make sure that you have contracts, you have written agreements that outline what you are responsible for, what they are responsible for, and what would happen if something were to happen with your client's photos when you were in possession of them.
And we have a course that we did on that, where we did a whole course on that, where we had professionals come in and talk about the pricing on that. And Joanna will have to, he's in Texas. Isabel will tech you. Good. Okay. He's in Houston, the Houston area. So
he did a career advice.
Yeah.
So
is it Steve?
I could find that. It's Steve, I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
Yeah, Steve. Right. So she can also, that we interviewed him, and he shows his van, the van that he made and stuff like that. And he was like, I forget what his background, and he was like a geophysicist or something. And this is his side gig in retirement, and he's pretty busy doing that. So he'll send you that. All right. And then last of all, we do an annual conference. We'll be in Columbus, Ohio in April. We would love if you join us as a member, or even not, you're welcome to come to our conference. It's a great way to really network, get a lot of training, and definitely, put that money aside towards doing that. But this is it's a great business. We'd love to welcome you. We have new members joining all the time. We do a new member orientation the last Friday of every month. So you'll have a chance to meet all the other new members who have joined in this month. And our goal is really to connect you with other members, to make sure that you're successful, to help give you all the tools that you need. And because really at the end of the day, you are making a difference in people's lives, and it's meaningful work. And so we would love to welcome you. And then Bonnie, I'm pretty sure that was an album from Miller's, and Miller's is a B2B company. So we work a lot of times with what we call, these are the companies that professional photographers. So we're not usually creating albums from a traditional album company, like a Shutterfly or Mixed Books or things like that. A lot of our members will, when they charge that extra amount of money, they're going to be creating a photo book through a business to business company. And we have relationships with lots of those. And so that's probably who that was. That was actually in Austin, Texas, but that album company actually is in Indiana, I think. But all right, everybody, thanks so much for your time today. And we hope to welcome you to membership. Remember, you get that special if you join in the end of November. And we do have that 25% off courses sale that will be for 1 week only starting next Monday. So thanks, everybody. Bye-bye.